In your perspective, how does love contribute to our overall mental and emotional well-being? And how can one be in a constant mode of love and acceptance and forgiveness in spite of outside influences?
If this body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If this mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If our emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If our very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If our surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Only to create pleasantness around us, we need the cooperation of people and forces around us. But to create pleasantness of body, pleasantness of mind, emotion and energy is 100% our business. Hello? If you want to create pleasantness in this hall, you need everybody's cooperation. To create pleasantness within this one is 100% my business, isn't it? So, love is a certain sweetness of our emotion. You may direct it at somebody, if they are here. If nobody is here, you can simply sit here in a loving way. It's not about somebody or something. It's just that maybe there is a longing to share. That's fine. But it's the sweetness of our emotions. If you're sitting here and somebody sitting in that corner loves you immensely, doesn't change your life. But if you're sitting here and feeling love even for something that's not here, it changes your life, isn't it? Because it's your emotion. Above all, we need to understand all human experience, absolutely. Our pleasantness, our nastiness, our love, our hate, our misery, our joy, our pain and pleasure, agony and ecstasy, everything happens within us. Have you ever experienced anything outside of yourself out here? Hello? You have? Really? Did you experience something here? Anything that ever happened to you happened only here, isn't it? Even this light and darkness is only happening within you. Stimulation may be from outside, but the experience happens only within you. Or in other words, the seat of your experience is within you. When the seat of your experience is within you, if you are sitting on that seat, obviously you would make the experience the way you want it. If I ask you a simple question, will you answer? If you say yes, if you say no, if you say silent, I'll bless you for all the three, it's up to you. If there was a choice between being pleasant within yourself and unpleasant within yourself, what's your choice? If there was a choice between sitting here in a loving manner or in an angry and hateful manner, what's your choice? Then what? There's no problem with anybody here. The only problem is they're not consistent, they're not sustainable. Hello? Sustainability is the issue. Otherwise, there's no problem with any human being. We have, like for the last 27 years, we have programs going on in the prisons of southern India. We did some here also in Kentucky and Pennsylvania prisons. I've met the most wonderful people, but if you look at their life's actions, they have done some horrible things, absolutely horrible things. But if you keep them happy and they're with you, they're absolutely wonderful people. So I'm saying, all the horrible things are simply because somewhere inside you're feeling horrible. You're feeling unpleasant. That unpleasantness permeates in so many ways. So one simple thing we need to understand is, love is not what you do, it is something that you can become. You can become love. But unfortunately, everybody is trying to do love, make love, not become love. If you have become love, you can look at a man, a woman, a tree, a dog, an insect, and be the same way, or close your eyes and be loving. Because it's your business. The way you keep yourself is entirely your business. How you relate to the world around you? See, if you are sitting here in a loving manner, if your child comes, you grab him and put him on your lap. If your neighbor comes, you don't do that, you just do this, all right? But with the same amount of love, you can do this. Hello? So, love is not about somebody or it is not a relationship. Relationship is a different thing, that needs management skills. You need an MBA to manage a good that's a different affair. But to be loving is entirely your way of being, and you should not deny yourself that no matter what. It doesn't matter what the world is doing. You should not miss out the experience of being soaked in your own sweetness. Every day, every moment. Sweetness of the body, sweetness of the mind, and sweetness of emotion and energy must be on with you every moment of your life. Sometimes the world will allow you to find expression, sometimes they won't allow you. Depends on the kind of situations we are existing in. In some places there is more opportunity, in some places there is less opportunity, but nobody can stop you from being pleasant within yourself. Nobody.
Thank you. So, that kind of answers what my follow-up question was, which was, what advice would you give to someone who's having trouble with self-love?
What is self-love?
Feeling pleasant with yourself.
See, when we use the word love, let's say it this way. Let me put the same thing in another context. You have heard the word yoga. Yoga means probably in United States, most people think you have to twist, turn and become like a leftover noodle. No, the word yoga means union. Because once you have come here as a human being, if you had come here as any other creature, your stomach full, life is settled. Once you have come as a human being, stomach empty, only one problem. Stomach full, 100 problems. Because once you come as a human being, you're longing to expand. How much expansion would settle you for good, if you look at this? Well, if you're this much, you want to become that much. If you become that much, you want to become that much. What is your currency? It may be different for different people. If you know money, you're thinking of more money. If you know wealth, you're thinking of more wealth. If you know pleasure, you're thinking of more pleasure. Power, more power. Knowledge, more knowledge. But everybody in their own way is longing to be something more than what they are right now. Now if you look at this, how much more would settle you? If I make you the king or queen of this planet, would you be fulfilled and settled? I'm asking you. Because then you would look at the moon. What about, let's get the moon. What about our solar system? If I give you one galaxy, you will look at the other galaxy. Because there is something within you longing to expand in a limitless way. When your longing is to become limitless, if you try to find physical expression to that, inevitably you will be bitter and frustrated because it'll not get there. It'll never get there. Unless you find another way. When I say another way, right now through physical means we are trying to expand. In this longing to expand, we are destroying the planet through and through. So please understand, all these environmental issues, planet being under threat and all this stuff, is not because of some evil. People in pursuit of human well-being. Hello? You think some evil people are destroying the planet? No. All of us in pursuit of well-being, isn't it? Because our well-being is never going to settle because we want all, not more. And that's not possible physically. Because the nature of physicality is such, nature of physicality is always defined by defined boundaries. You call this a physical body because it has a boundary. If this had no boundaries, you wouldn't call this physical anymore. So yoga means to approach it in the right way, that you approach the union, understanding physical is not the way to go about it. There are ways to do it, leaving that aside. But people are trying through physicality. When it finds very fundamental, basic physical expression, when two are trying to become one, we call this sexuality. When it finds an emotional expression, we call this love. Two are trying to become one. If it finds an intellectual or mental expression, it could be called conquest, ambition, or simply shopping, Something that's not you, you want to make it part of yourself. This is the effort. This effort is on from the simplest physical level to all levels of your faculties. You're trying to become one with something else other than you. But when you say self-love, there is a danger to this because you are an individual. An individual means you are not further divisible. The moment there is more than one here, because it's become… I'm saying this, please listen to this carefully, because today it's become fashionable to have more than one here. The moment there is more than one here, you will go towards mental instability. There's only one here, this is just me. This one is an individual, not further divisible. The moment you divide this, people will say, I'm a nice guy, but my ego, this ego is a fall guy. Whenever you become nasty, you don't want to admit, I've been nasty. That guy does those things. And people start creating many levels of themselves. There's no many levels, they're just you. If you see this is just you, there is room for tremendous transformation. The moment you make a crowd out of yourself, there is no room for any kind of transformation. All you can do is play ball, throwing it here and there, this happened, that happened. So love, on one level, is an effort to unite what is two into one. Don't make this two. There's no need for self-love. Love is yours anyway. You can become love. You don't have to love yourself, because then you will become two. This mind is capable of becoming million if you want. Human mind is such, if you explore this, you can make million people out of this same mind. Don't do that because then you will either need a psychiatrist or an exorcist.
That definitely answers. Thank you. Thank you.